Hey everyone, hope you're having an amazing day. It's Code Karen. Welcome to r/Am I the A-hole, where we have an incredible story with comments and updates. If you're new to this channel, a sub would be great. Let's jump to the story. Our story is, am I the a-hole for no contact with my parents? They want my husband to pretend that he is their real biological child. Creepy! My parents have 2 children. Me, female 26, and my brother Dan, 34. Dan had a rough time growing up, and frankly, my parents failed him. As a teenager, he struggled with severe addiction and mental illness, and they did almost nothing to help him. After he finished college, he completely cut off my parents. To this day, Dan and my parents are still estranged, but I still speak to my brother. My parents, especially my mom, take every chance that they get to mourn the loss of their son and act as though my brother abandoned them by leaving. Dan told me he wouldn't mind reconnecting with them, but only if they reach out and apologize first. I've encouraged my parents to do this, but they insist that he betrayed them. I got married early last year to my husband Jeff. We have a happy marriage, and he is adored by all my friends and family, but recently, my parents have been crossing some boundaries. For example, whenever we go to visit them, they insist that my husband sleeps in Dan's room by saying that their son, my husband, has come home and should sleep in his rightful bedroom. Most of the pictures of my brother in my childhood home have been replaced by pictures of my parents with Jeff. It has gone as far as my dad taking Jeff to sporting events and introducing him as his only son. The other day, my mom called to invite us to their house for the holidays. I told her I wasn't comfortable traveling at this very busy time of year. She was irritated but dropped it. Then she called Jeff and begged him to visit without me because apparently it's cruel for a mother to be without her child on the holidays. Jeff politely told her he wasn't going to visit without me. Ever since that phone call, my mom has been emotionally blackmailing him by sending him pictures of gifts with his name on them, saying, "But we already promised so-and-so that our son will be in town." This manipulation is ridiculous and unsettling, so I called my mom up yesterday and explained to her that she's violating our boundaries. Jeff is not her replacement son, and no matter how much she pretends she doesn't have a biological son, she does. And it is her responsibility to make up for the damage she did to that relationship before it's too late. She started crying and called me cruel for bringing up Dan. She then went on to say that I have no idea what it's like to be a mother, and it's disgusting that I'm trying to deprive her of having a relationship with her son by keeping Jeff away from her. She lost one son, and she doesn't want to lose another. My father agrees with my mother, and Jeff agrees with me, but he doesn't like to be caught in the middle and thinks I should apologize to them anyway. I thought I did the right thing, but now I'm really not sure if I went too far and mishandled this situation. Am I the a-hole? Edit 1. Thank you for all the support and advice. I appreciate it so much. My tentative plan is to arrange for my husband and I to get individual therapy and maybe couples therapy later on. We're going no contact with my parents for a while. I'm also planning to invite Dan to stay with us over the holidays. I have a lot to make up for, and I want to spend as much time as I can with him and let him know he's loved. Edit 2. What's even more bizarre is that people who didn't know me growing up and meet my parents assume that I'm the daughter-in-law and Jeff is their son until one of us corrects them. Here Ferreira says, "For real? Not the a-hole. So not the a-hole. Your parents are mentally unbalanced. This is a serious unhealthy behavior, and it will have a negative impact on your marriage. They are now saying that your husband is better than their son. They are replacing their biological son with your husband so they can feel good about having a loyal son and maintaining the role of victim when it comes to their real son. This is beyond all reason, and you need to enforce some very firm and very distinct boundaries with them. What's going to happen if you and your husband ever have a baby, especially a boy? Will they overstep their parenting boundaries and refer to your baby as their baby? I'm definitely projecting here, but it isn't exactly a reach to think that they will not only continue this behavior, but escalate it. Great One-Liner says, "Everyone sucks here. Your parents are definitely the a-holes, and definitely crossing boundaries. Extremely unhealthy ones. What I don't understand is how your parents deliberately and methodically crossed boundaries all these years, and you just stood by and let it get worse? You basically allowed your parents to continue with this delusional behavior, calling your husband their real son, and now you decide to draw the line? You are the a-hole for not putting an end to this years ago. Like it or not, your inaction to set them straight is directly affecting your brother's relationship with your parents. By having a replacement son, it gave them no incentive to repair their relationship with Dan, and in some ways, it may have reinforced the estrangement. They are completely happy substituting Jeff as their real son, at Dan's expense. Each time they crossed these boundaries was a moment you missed to stop this unhealthy behavior. And now that it's finally affecting your relationship with Jeff, now you want to step in and say, "Whoa, that's too far." I know you don't want to believe this, but sometimes when things aren't directly affecting you, they still contribute a toxicity to the people you love, like your brother. This family dysfunction is affecting you directly now that your husband is involved. If you want to fix this, you need to keep Jeff away from your parents until they repair their relationship with Dan. It's the least you can do. Stevie B. Muse says, "My parents adore my husband. In their eyes, he hung the moon. I have 2 brothers and everyone gets along, but I'm certain my parents would rather spend time with my husband than their own sons. Having said this, they have never referred to my husband as anything other than their son-in-law. They have an adult relationship with him because he is married to their daughter, me, and it's been a healthy relationship. We've been married 26 years. He is not a replacement son, or their child from another family, or anything else. He is just a son-in-law who they love very much. Your husband deserves to be treated as an adult by your parents. The fact that they requested that they want him to sleep in Dan's childhood bedroom is beyond inappropriate. This is deranged." Crumble Cake says, "Not the a-hole. That whole situation sounds extremely toxic, and it might be best to stay away from them for a while until they can verbally admit that your husband is not their son. I don't blame your brother for cutting ties. However, not all of the blame can be put on your parents for your brother's failings and addictions. Some of the blame is on him. If he really wants to reconnect, he can see if they want to sit down and talk it all out, but I don't think it's fair to place all the blame on your parents for your brother's past mistakes. Regardless, your parents need to back off your husband. All this behavior is really creepy, and to deliberately go around you and ask Jeff to visit without you and sleep in Dan's childhood room is wacky. Yikes." Update. Hi, I posted several weeks ago about a situation in which I felt that my parents were trying to replace my brother, Dan, with my husband, Jeff. I want to first express my gratitude for everyone who commented and messaged me. I was raised in an unhealthy environment, so I was really out of touch with what normal family dynamics and boundaries look like. The support, the resource recommendations, and the respectful criticisms have all been invaluable to me as I begin to confront what I've been avoiding for a long time. People have messaged me asking for an update. Well, I'm happy to share good news. My husband and I went no contact with my parents, as many of you suggested. We both also started going to individual therapy. We only had 3 sessions each, but I can definitely say it has been a total relief to process things that I had bottled up my entire life. I already feel that I can understand myself and years of family dysfunction much better. Kinda kicking myself for not trying therapy sooner. Jeff told me that he felt the same way with his therapy sessions. Under professional advisement, we are holding off on couples therapy until we do a few more individual sessions, but we hope to start in the near future. Now for the really good news. My brother Dan is spending the holidays with us, and is staying with us past New Year's. Having Dan around has been incredibly special for me and Jeff. Dan and I have been making up for so much lost time, and I've never seen him smile so much, and it warms my heart. Before he came, I told him about the situation with our parents and Jeff. It was hard for him to hear about the extent of my parents disowning him, but Dan has a really strong support system and seems to be dealing with it in a healthy way. He's coming up on 7 years sober now. I was finally able to apologize for not stepping up to be a better sister earlier in his life and enabling our parents' abuse. He said he doesn't blame me, but I still want to show him through my actions that I will always be there for him. My parents have been pretty much losing their mind this entire time, especially when they found out Dan is staying with us. As a people pleaser, I'm proud of myself for remaining firm and maintaining boundaries. Right now, my heart is filled with more love and joy than it has been in a long time. I know life won't always be like this, but my brother is safe and healthy and happy and knows he is loved, and that is everything to me. I'm sincerely appreciating what I have. Anyway, thank you again for all your help. Much love to all of you. Edit. Wow, all of your comments and messages had me happy crying all day. I did not expect such an outpouring of love and support. The compassion you all have shown us means so much more than I can even say. I've been showing Dan all of your comments that congratulate him on his sobriety, and he wants to give a heartfelt thank you. This is an amazing time for all of us to truly begin healing. Duty Valuable says, "Congratulations on your new shiny spine. You're on your way to being a healthier and happier you. Good for you. Just be careful, because some parents, once they realize that they are being challenged, escalate the behavior. So beware of retaliation." Bookish Nerd 19 says, "I'm glad the reunion is working out. I was shocked your own parents would rather you spend the holidays alone so they could spend time with your husband. That's seriously so messed up. I know your husband doesn't want to get in the middle, but I would ask him to confront your parents and tell them that their request was inappropriate and hurtful for you. And if they insist on treating his wife, their daughter, that way, then he doesn't want a relationship with them at all." Otherwise, Triacle1 says, "As the Dan in the family, reading your story made me want to cry. I wish one day someone in my family will step up like you have. Please know that what you're doing now means the world to your brother. He had to choose between staying in a dysfunctional home or being alone in a scary world when he was still a kid. But like I remind myself all the time, it's better to be alone than to be surrounded by people who want to hurt you. I hope you guys never ever lose each other again." Sock Bizzo says, "This is so fantastic, so positive that you and your husband are doing the individual therapy for yourselves. It is and will continue to pay off in so many ways. I hear that you're still being hard on yourself for not being there for your brother in the past. Please find the grace to forgive yourself for any perceived failings. It takes incredible strength as a young person to resist the influence of unhealthy parents, and the fact that you have been able to maintain a healthy and independent relationship with your brother, who they seek to ostracize, is a real achievement. Best of luck going forward. You're doing everything perfectly." Hadricho RL says, "Glad to hear that everyone is happy and healthy, but I think this update doesn't have a happy ending. Yet. You think you're safe, but there still could be danger ahead. The root cause is your parents, and they haven't gone away. The one who needs major therapy is them. From this story, your parents really seem obsessed with Jeff. I don't think it's enough to just go no contact. Who knows what will happen next if their favorite son continues to avoid them, because your parents sound kinda psychotic. You might need a restraining order if they continue to blackmail or stalk you. Please don't let your guard down. I'm not trying to ruin the good vibe, but sometimes we need to be extra cautious. My best friend went through a similar situation and it didn't end well. So, reading this post really triggered some red flags. Be hopeful, but vigilant and smart." Hey Code Karen community, what would you do in this situation? In this story, is everyone partly to blame? I'd love to hear your comments.